I want to start by saying that President John F. Kennedy, the late President of America, said, and he said, never before has man had such capacity to control his own environment, to end thirst and hunger, to conquer poverty and disease, to banish illiteracy and massive human misery. We have the power to make this the best generation of mankind in the history of the world, or make it the last. He said these words about 50 years ago. And I believe when we think about diabetes has been around for quite a relatively long time. If you look at the prevalence of diabetes, when I look back at the prevalence of diabetes in 1970, I wasn't born then, but it was 2%. So that means that it was very, 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 very small percentage. It wasn't zero, but it was 2%. And if the words of John F. Kennedy were true then, if we were able to conquer the wave of diabetes, then maybe it will still be 2%. But the fact of the matter is, Diabetes International has estimated that our prevalence at the moment sits at 15%. And that's the reality of where we are with diabetes. It is on the rise, and is no longer a disease of the predominantly rich nations, and the prevalence of diabetes continues to rise in developed and undeveloped countries alike. When it is uncontrolled, it is a fire with the consequences of the complications of diabetes. And I know a lot of you here who are in the health sector, who are family members, who are diabetes advocates, will know what the complications are. They disturb the eye, they disturb the kidney, they can cause stroke, they can cause heart attacks, and in Fiji, we lose a lot of legs. And these are the complications of diabetes. It is a fire. So when I was working as a doctor, I used to have patients come and they say, you know, how come my diabetes test is normal? And I say to them, the fire just went down and it's just smoking a little bit, but it is still there. There is a saying that where there is smoke, there is fire. And we must know that diabetes is a fire that rages. As I've alluded to, we estimated by Diabetes International that our prevalence is 15%. It could be more. If you look at the STEP survey of 2002, it was also 15%. STEP survey of 2009 estimated at just under 16%. And according to WHO, in 2019, diabetes was the 9th leading cause of death, with about 1.5 million deaths directly caused by diabetes, and 48% of all deaths due to diabetes occurred before 70. Why is it that I'm worried about the 50% that dying before 70 from diabetes? The reason is very simple. Because those who die, you know, in Tokyo it's matendole, means to die early. When our family members, or when we die early, whether it be from diabetes or cancer, we are not able to live long enough to pass the maturity and the wisdom and the intellect onto our children and our grandchildren. And it saddens me when I go to communities and villages and I sit and I talk with them, and I see some of these villages have men who are my age leading the village, when those who are our fathers have died. My 99-year-old grandmother, who is still alive, and thank God she's still coherent, she's from Matuku. When I talk with her, she tells me things that happened in the early 1900s. She explains family connections that she knows of in the early 1900s. 6 generations. But you can imagine that cultural intellectual wisdom is lost when a senior family member dies early. And as I've alluded to in the statement before, 50% of our people who have diabetes die before 70. Not only about death, but the other thing is that it also impedes upon the ability to have a significant socioeconomic return. When somebody is working, have lost their leg, they may not be able to work as effectively as they've done before. And in some instances, the ability to work is dependent on them being able. So they are not able to work at all. So the effects of diabetes are not only medical, but the burden of diabetes affects families, individuals, workforce, and ultimately at the end of the day, the nation. So whilst the alarming global trends are a cause for concern, we have continued in the Ministry of Health and Medical Services to push out what we term as universal health coverage. And we've remodeled our health services. And some of you may have seen that we have specialists from CWM now coming to do clinics close to in your health centers, in your subdivisional hospitals. We have specialists from CWM going into subdivisional hospitals like Korwo, Nabosa, Singatoka, and Wunindawa, because we want to ensure that our people, irrespective of where you are, you have access to good health care. And we also realize that we need to work with partners such as Diabetes Fiji. And by doing so, we can then work on the ethos of leaving no one behind. But we as a ministry can only do so much. We need to take leadership and responsibility. The reason why we're able to sit in this room, the reason why I can take off my mask to talk, the reason why we are not in a lockdown is because you did your part. The nation did its part. We got vaccinated, we put on masks, we washed our hands. The government can only do so much, but it's the community at large. When they take ownership and leadership and responsibility, then that is a bigger wave of momentum that we can carry forth to be able to deal effectively with diabetes. Every year on the 14th of November, the international community celebrates World Diabetes Day to raise awareness so that health practitioners carry out their work in the field with people living with diabetes. And the theme for 2021 to 2023 is access to diabetes care. The fundamental components is making sure that we have access to insulins, access to oral medicines, access to monitoring, access to education and psychological support, and importantly, access to healthy food and a safe place to exercise. I know all of us here will have a testimony that during the lockdown we were able to grow something. Believe it or not, I didn't grow, but my children grew some things in the backyard. And I can tell you that all of us have green fingers. I didn't know that we can grow so much vegetables in our backyard. The same backyard that the boys play rugby on, the same backyard we make the lovo, the same backyard we grew the tomato. And we had the cucumber. And the access to healthy food and nutrition, I would urge all of us, begins at home. Not only by the farmer, but by ourselves. It is important that we work together. We encourage one another as a community. Work as a nation, as a family. When I visit villages, one thing that I implore of the Turangani Abusas and the Turangani Koro is that in the laws about us, the Itoke, that was set back in the colonial times, that whenever we have a village meeting, this is in the laws, that is remained till now, there are three important topics we must talk about. One is development, two is education, three is health. And I implore with our Turangani Abusa and our Turangani Koro that we need to bring health back into the table of discussion. That many times in our village meeting, health is forgotten. And it takes a community, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise awareness on diabetes. And I want to thank those communities that are working with us in these areas. And effective collaborations allow us to share diverse perspectives, because what works in maybe Moala might actually work in Nasole. Or what works in Nakasi might actually also work in Lomoiviti. But when we have a community-based approach, when we encourage one another, and as we are doing today, to share our experiences, then we become richer. Then we can be able to keep chipping away on diabetes. To conclude, it is important and imperative that we all come together. And I want to thank you for being here this morning. Your presence alone shows your commitment to fighting diabetes, and the commitment of your family you came from, and the commitment of your children who ironed your clothes this morning, and the commitment of your spouse that brought you this morning. Your presence alone shows the commitment. And I want to thank you, acknowledge and thank Diabetes Fiji, Suba Diabetes Center and the Wellness Unit, who all are here today to celebrate World Diabetes Day. And with these words, I now declare the Diabetes Self-Management Workshop open. Nawalimu.